Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Ryans, One Planet podcast, episode 2 now. This one is called Close Encounters. So we are going to talk about the many different experiences we've had with wildlife, dangerous, funny, exciting, anything to do with that. But we're going to specifically talk about how it was our responsibility to present or to handle these animals in a certain way because we understand animal behavior, but we want to explain that to you guys. So we don't want you just to go out and handle anything that you see, because you might not know the full dangers of these animals, and that's what we want to talk a little bit more about. So we're going to start off with you, Ryan. So can you give us one experience so far that you've, like I said, either a dangerous part, or it's been funny, or it's been exciting, it's got the adrenaline going, but you, as a presenter, as a conservationist, you needed to be a little bit more aware of what you're doing and what the animal was showing you in terms of communication and behavior that you was listening to?
Yeah, it was a good one. A couple of years ago, I went to this. I had this meeting in this crocodile farm, and they're breeding crocodiles for conservation, and they're very different species. And it's open to the public, so you can go and see the crocs and stuff like that. And I got taken, inside the enclosure where the crocodiles are, and there was this. I think it's about 14-foot long Nile crocodile, a male, which and I'm food to that croc, right? And I'm talking to this to the keeper, and she's telling me about the crocodiles and how they work with them. And we're on this like little wooden jetty, and the water was very close to me. And I'm talking to her, and she's talking to me. And the crocodile, he's just swum up really close to the jetty. And I thought, if I get any closer, if anyone's seen crocodiles hunt in the wild, they are super fast, and it's bam, you're gone. And that's the one time in my life. I mean, I've swum with sharks, I've got close to lions, I've been close to tigers, bears, a lot of dangerous animals.
Oh my!
There's a lot of dangerous animals being close to, and I was like, no, that animal's not going to eat me. But that crocodile, I was looking at him like, you want to eat me, man? Like I can tell. I'm looking in his eyes, like he really wants to go for me. And I thought I might sprinkle myself some paprika, make myself look a bit more appealing. But the whole time I was like talking to her, and she's talking to me. I was very aware how close I am to this croc, and how easy it is for him to get to me. So I knew how close I can get. If I went too close to the edge of I don't know what you call this, like platform thing, if I got too close to it, I know he could have jumped out, and I would be missing an arm or a leg or my head or something like that. Hopefully the average person, when it comes to animals like crocs, is not going to get that as close as I did. I think it's very important to, you and I, we are trained, we're animal behaviorists. And I was with another specialist as well. I don't know that crocodile's behavior. I wouldn't like to go down there and approach it by myself. So I think that's something for people to be very aware of, that we've worked with various different dangerous animals. Even when another one was, if you've seen the wildlife documentary I made, and I filmed with the zebras. Now, lots of people, when it comes to zebras, they go, "Oh, it's a horse, black and white stripes. It's a horse, black. It's an equine." And zebras are dangerous animals. These animals, they have to deal with leopards, lions, cheetahs, hyenas hunting them, crocodiles hunting them. They've killed large predators. They got a nasty bite. A kick one can kill you. And horses as well. Come on, even the domestic horse are very dangerous. I worked with some body mares before. And there's this one zebra when we're filming. Her name was Bailey. She was lovely. She was like a big puppy. We're filming, and I'm presenting and doing an interview with the lady. And Bailey's coming up to us, and she's rubbing up against us, and she's going up to my cameraman and rubbing against him. And she's an anomaly. The other zebras what were there filming with us, they weren't like that. They were keeping away from us. They were running around. They're making a lot of noise. And she was just different, She was just a very different character to the rest of the other zebras. But at the same time, while she was there and I'm presenting, I'm talking all those different animal facts, at the same time, I still have to keep my eye on her. I'm making sure I'm not going near her back legs, making sure her head's not getting too close towards me, making sure my cameraman's safe. And on camera, it may not look like that because I'm deep in conversation, like how we are now. But my eyes are still, like a chameleon, like looking elsewhere. In case
your peripheral vision's always on lookout, isn't it? Yeah.
That's something.
Well, you wouldn't believe it though. With all the animals that I've met and seen, horses are my biggest fear.
Really?
Now, yeah. I mean, it's strange. I mean, the only reason I'm scared of them is because I know that if I were to stand behind one, which obviously I always try to avoid, is obviously they can kick back and they can cause a lot of damage. But obviously my partner's got a horse, and after this last year, I've sort of got used to ballet, and I've been pushing him and feeding him and all sorts. But I still won't stand behind a horse because I've seen way too many videos of horses kicking, and I don't want to be one of them.
I don't blame you for not wanting to get behind a horse. Always stay to the side. But horses are some of the nicest people I've met. Are horses.
Yeah.
I hope you get to build up a stronger connection with him. Like later on.
I mean, to be fair, like I get on well with Buddy really well now. I mean, he recognises me and all sorts, and like I've pushed him. I've only sat on him once, and it was only for about 5 seconds. I had to get off because he started to move, and I was like, no, not for me. But no, in general, I get on well with him there. But I think animals also feel that connection as well. I mean, people might think that's a bit daft, but I don't believe it is. I think animals do understand people, especially like dogs and stuff like that. But I know if Bally really didn't like me, he would show me that he doesn't like me. But he's accepted me, so I think that's okay.
I think that's a really good point what you just brought up. About like animals' consents. Because sometimes it does feel daft. When I tell people I can talk to animals and I have this connection with animals, yeah, got a sharp Dr. Doolittle, and then they see me with the animal, like, wow, you actually do. And it's not nothing special. It's just we're emitting smells and hormones and pheromones of fear, happiness, hunger, and that's how animals communicate. And we communicate that way. We just forgotten about it because we've got language. So there is that, and I think that's something when you are trained and you are relaxed with an animal, if you just spot an animal and you got all brash and stuff, that animals might fear you. So I think that's, if someone's listening to this, something to also think about. We do have that, and you like with the horse, you are with your partner who would have coached you as well with him. Have you had any close encounters with any wild, dangerous animals?
I wouldn't say. Well, I've been in situations, but I think the one that sticks to my mind a lot is when I was studying at university. When I was studying at Bangor University in North Wales, we got the opportunity to go to South Africa, and we went to Kruger National Park, and there was an opportunity to go on a bushwalk, and I'll always remember the feeling of when we was driving through the savannah. We were seeing all these beautiful animals really, really early in the morning, so I was still a bit like sleepy sort of thing. But when you get off the vehicle and you step onto the savannah, there's a weird, I don't know if you felt the same, this weird sense of you are no longer at the top of the food chain. You are so far down on the bottom that anything could attack you, anything could, potentially kill you and hunt you down. So you get this really weird sense of, I'm going back into the pre time of humans, like with the spears and stuff like that. You think you're going to bear fight an animal with your bare fists and stuff like that. So that to me was a very grounding feeling. But when we was walking around, we came across this dried up riverbed, and we all sat down and had something to eat, and we was all sitting there chatting, and all of a sudden, in the corner of my eye, I was the first one to spot them, and it was a herd of elephants coming at the bush. And everyone I sort of nudging people, and saying like, look out sort of thing. And they sort of come forward, and within that group you had the matriarch, you had a sub-adult and a calf. So there's only 3 of them. But the matriarch sort of walked straight past us with the calf. And that to me was just spectacular. It was beautiful seeing such a one of the biggest land mammals sort of walked past you. Was fantastic. But then the sub-adult was the one that got us. He sort of really shrunk, flapped his ears, did a dummy charge at us. Now none of us we all had to stay put, because if you made a move, that's what it would have been really, really dangerous. But we all stayed put, and it did a dummy charge, and then stepped back, did its like trumpet noise again, flapped its ears, put its trunk up, and then just walked past us as well, and carried on and catched up with the calf and the matriarch, and we was all sitting there going. We all breathed like a sigh of relief, because not only did we survive the encounter, but we saw the mystery, the beauty of these animals going past you. Because you never, that I will never ever forget. Because I had a camera with me at the time, but I was so scared to press the record button because it makes a beep noise. I thought, if that beep noise happens when them coming past us, they've only got to swing the trunk and we're all gone, sort of thing. But I sort of just kept it there, and just instead of filming it, I just took that moment in, and that will always stay with me. Because I think you'll probably know as well, when you're filming animals and you meet these characters and you see these different things happen. Like when I was filming a lion hunt up with Waterbuck and stuff like that. Although you're filming it, you also want to see it with your physical eye, because I think the physical eye, you remember it, because going through the camera, that's great, but you don't always get that emotional connection with it when you're seeing it with your eyes rather than through the camera. So I think not recording it and watching them elephants walk past will always stay with me.
Okay, that's why I want to be a presenter, not a wildlife videographer. So let the cameraman. I can do it. But that's such a cool story, man. I love that. Like, yeah, when I first step on the savannah, like the first thing I do is put my hand on the ground. Like, it's so exciting. I get, fully adrenaline through
It's that grounding feeling, isn't it?
Like, yeah, I'm not scared. I just want to stay there. And my first time going to Africa, before I booked it, going out to Kenya, I tried to convince their government to let me go by myself and walk about in the Sahara. Just give me a stick and a tent and I'm all right. And they wouldn't let me. Apparently it's too dangerous. But no, I can see why, because I had close encounters with elephants as well. When I was in Ngorongoro and Tanzania. They come into our camp and they just walked through and they raided the kitchen. And then when I was wild camping in the Serengeti, which for me is home, like the sun goes down and there's nothing, you can't see nothing. We had the head torches on, and there was buffalo and giraffe, and everyone was like in the mess tent, like in the food, wherever it is. And I had my headlamp on. To see the lights, like eyes looking at me, and so there's more and more eyes, and I start hearing.
I had the exact same experience when I was in the camp. I went off, because obviously you got a secure camp, and I went with my mates. We was having a walk around and see if we could find any animals and stuff like that, or reptiles or insects. And I just remember watching this hyena going up and down the fence, and then in the distance, one lot of eyes, two lots of eyes, three lots of eyes. And I was like, yeah, let's go. I know obviously we wouldn't get out of the fence, but we're still like, yeah, let's go back to the camp.
It's exciting. I got pulled back because we didn't have the fence. Ours was actually wild camping, like the animals were coming into the camp. And there was a lady on the tour of us. Her name was Sue, like an older lady. I was like, Sue, come, it's hyenas. And I started walking, Ryan, come back. Like, I want to get. That's not responsible, okay? Don't get too close. No. Hyenas, let's get closer.
Stick to the group.
Yeah, like then there was, when it comes to responsibility, we had a talk. It wasn't at night time. We are wild camping, and I heard lions at night. There's buffalo, the ones to watch out for. And you say if you go into the bathroom at night time, knock on somebody else's tent and get someone to go with you. And you do find, when I was in Uganda this year as well, I wasn't wild camping. There was like a lodge, but the lodge was still in the wild. There's no fences around it. And at night time, you have somebody with a machine gun walk you to your lodge. And, I got quite known, they were told who I was before I got there. So it was like, oh, you're the animal guy from England. So like in the morning, there's like a guy goes, Ryan, come with me, and there's like a hippo right next to the breakfast bar, like just grazing, but you're the safety,
Limit. Yeah, you know your limits.
Yeah, I mean hippos are so dangerous, so really, and they
Mm.
run fast. They're really fast runners. People
Yeah.
think, oh, they're big and bloaty,
Again, with that, I think people realise that they can run from water to land and catch you in the vehicle. I don't think people realise how fast they actually are. Like you say, they're these big, blubbery animals, but they can soon catch a vehicle.
Yeah, they're really and buffalo as well.
Buffalo are dangerous.
Like I'm not scared of any animal, but yeah, I think you have to be wary and appreciate the danger of that animal on what they can do, and even the small ones. Like primates, small primates, or even larger like baboons. My guy, have you had problems with baboons as well?
I'll let you tell your story, and then I'll tell you my story about baboons.
We had baboons like trying to raid us for lunch, at dinner, and everything like that. But when we was having lunch in one of the parks, there was, I didn't see it, one of the guys in another safari group. He tried to feed, I think it was like a Monster Munch or a Dorito or something, to a baboon, and the guy said, "No, don't do it." And he told us the year before in Kenya, some tourist went to feed a baboon, a Mao as well. The baboon bit him, and he got rabies. Had to have his arm amputated, and then he died anyway. And you think, have people not seen a baboon, like how big and the teeth? They are big animals, and I don't want to be mean to any animals, but I've had to scare away baboons a few times on different trips. They are gonna, tear you apart. Yeah, sometimes it's common sense.
It is common sense. I mean, like when I was in Kruger National Park, and all my mates went off and they went and did some food shopping. I was feeling quite ill at the time because I was having them malaria tablets, but it was quite the intense one, so it knocked me about a bit, to be fair. So I sort of stayed behind and stayed in the camp and had a nap, sort of thing. And then I was just woke up because I heard a noise, and I thought, well, "What's that?" I sort of got out of bed. And then in the doorway was a baboon just sitting there, a male baboon just sitting there, like, and he was looking at me, and I was looking at it, and I was like, "Oh my god, do I attempt to get rid of it? Do I just sit here and wait for everyone to come back and hope it goes?" But then I thought, no, I've got to do it, because if I don't, the whole troop's gonna come in. So I stood up, and because you're meant to be as big as you can, shout as loud as you can. And hopefully that would scare it off. And in normal circumstances, it would. But this one, I think this one had a lot of encounters with people, and he knows that they all try it and nothing happens. So when I was trying to be as loud as I can and, clapping my hands and shouting, it just sat there and just looked at me and did nothing. And then I did it again and whatever. And I think he got that annoyed with me. It just stood up, got up onto its hind legs and just walked off and went into the tree and just sat in the tree. And I looked at him and looked at me, and he was just staring at me and just did nothing. But that was just a very, I wouldn't say simple situation, but like that could have gone way different. Again, primate behavior is a very, very niche thing. And again, because obviously we share a lot of characteristics with primates, but they still have a lot of things that we don't fully understand. So again, a baboon, as we all know, is very, very vicious, especially with their teeth. And any sort of interaction, you've got to minimize the amount of time you spend with them and keep your distance. But again, what I should have done is obviously kept the door shut, so things like baboons and that don't come in. So I learnt my lesson quite quickly. So again, I'd advise anyone who's going to places like that, and if you want to have a nap in the camp, shut the door.
Yeah.
Definitely shut the door.
And same, snakes and spiders will get in as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mongooses. But having said that, like with primate, we don't want to put people off going on safaris. I mean,
no, of course, it's a beautiful thing to go and see, because you will get to see these animals. But again, it's understanding your limits of where you go and at what point do you interact with these animals.
Yeah, and it's always as well, it's much as we know and as qualified as we are, you are going with other specialists. I mean, I've now seen 3 of the great apes in the wild: orangutans, gorillas, and chimps. But the whole time I was, when I went on the gorilla trekking, I had like gorilla trekkers with us and the experts, and they tell you there's always somebody. There was somebody trying to get too close to get a selfie with the silverback, and it's like, hey, get back, and you're meant to wear masks so we don't transmit any diseases to them. But you take that moron out of the way, and you just sit in there in the jungle in the thick, and it was just a beautiful experience. It was like a baby in a tree with the mother and the silverback. He's just laying there picking his nose, and you just hear that, and then,
exactly like humans.
Yeah, it was just beautiful moment. That 1 hour there, and not just that, the whole trek as well, like climbing through the mountain, climbing. This was like real like Tarzan footage where you climb under rocks, and you got the big knife and cut down the bushes to get there. And then it was very different to being with the chimps, where I got the permission to go where they're doing the research on the chimps, and there's a whole troop up in the trees. And I got a bit of a, just had my neck looking up constantly, and it was incredible. Like, I'm following this lady around. I had my guide with me, who was me the whole week, and he was just excited to see the chimps as I was. Jeffrey, his name was, and you see them up there, and then suddenly you start hearing, and you go, oh, this is amazing! And they're shaking the tree, and then that's so different to the orangutans, where the orangutans are just so slow and they're trying to, and it was like Jurassic Park, man. Because like sometimes you're in the rainforest and all you hear is the trees being knocked down with the sheer weight of the orangutans. And I was like, oh man, Richard Attenborough's going to turn up and say, "Welcome to Jurassic Park." It was incredible. But at the same time, I'm still with my guides, and we're just always listening and always watching what is going on. And that's like with any animal. When I swam with the manta rays, like big rays, and I'm trying to keep up with them. There's a video where the ray goes underneath me. Now I could easily try to
touch
go
it,
for a ride and touch it, but it's just that common sense. Animals can hurt you, and you're in their habitat. You're putting yourself in those situations, and if I ever got hurt before, or any future times, if I get hurt, that's down to me. It's my fault. I think just before we were talking about swimming with sharks. And I swam with sand tiger sharks, and it was an amazing moment. I went down about 5 meters, and there was this beautiful. There was three sand tiger sharks, and the female was the largest, 11.5 feet. And she swam close by me, and it was this incredible moment with a little eye looking into my eyes. But before I go into the water, like the dive master says, like, when you're with the sharks, don't reach out and touch the shark. And I thought, what idiot is going to do that? And it's like,
there'll be people.
Yeah,
there'll be people.
350 teeth. We spoke a lot about the bad reputations what sharks have, and we want to try and navigate away from that. But at the same time, that don't be stupid, because I'm a stranger. If I go and touch the shark, the only thing he's got left to do, or she had left to do, is get away from me. And you're surrounded by 350 teeth.
I think it's also a sign of respect as well, because you got to think you're going into their habitat. You've got to respect their boundaries, respect what they want. They don't want to be touched. They don't want to be pestered for a selfie or anything like that. They just want to go about their day, hunting, feeding, whatever they want to do, mating, stuff like that. And I think when people go out their way and they've got to touch it, or they've got to get this closer selfie, I think it ruins it for other people, because then extra safety measures have to come in, or people will stop doing the tour at the time, or stop doing other tours for that season and stuff like that, because they're scared that if someone gets hurt, they'll sue that company and they'll lose all the money, they'll lose all the funding. And I think it ruins it for a lot of people. And I think with ecotourism and other things as well, just think before you do. Just remember where you are. Remember what you're going to say. Like with the gorillas, for example, a gorilla could literally just grab you and smash you to pieces, and in a matter of moments, and you wouldn't even realise what's hit you. And then you've ruined, not only obviously you've ruined your own life, but you've affected your family, you've affected your friends, your community. You've upset the people that have witnessed that happen. Not saying that's going to happen, obviously, because I don't want to depict that sharks or gorillas or any animal are dangerous animals. But if you are getting involved with them and you're affecting their behaviour, they will react to you and they will hurt you, and having that understanding will prevent stuff like that happening. Just what I would just say to the viewers listening, just be mindful of what you're going to see. Enjoy what you're seeing. Enjoy, the spectacle of these amazing animals, and just think where you are.
Yeah, I really agree with you there. And like you said, you're putting your life at risk, everyone else's life at risk, the animal's life at risk as well. I mean, if you think of it from like a logical point of view, you're in your apartment and your house, and some stranger comes in. I'm going to get a baseball bat and hit that person over the head if someone comes in. Like get out. These animals are letting you in their space. They're sharing a space with you. You don't know it, with your body language. You're communicating. Like when you swim with sharks are talking to you. You make yourself bigger or smaller, as telling the shark come close or go away. Simple fact: if you're in the water with sharks and one approaches you, the rule is don't swim away from the shark, because that just encourages their predatory behavior, and they're going to just follow you. You're meant to stand and face a shark. Now that sounds scary. Anyone who's not worked with sharks, that's really, really scary thing to say. Oh, well, I don't want to come face to face with a great white shark or a tiger shark, but that's going to give you better chances. It's the same as when you with the elephant, stand your ground. With big cats, it's the same as well.
Yeah, never turn your back on a big cat.
Yeah,
never, because that's the last thing you'll see the lovely surroundings, but you won't see anything else, because that's it.
Exactly that. They're much faster than us.
Yeah.
They'll be on the back of your neck, or depending on what species it is, like a jaguar will have its jaws on your skull. You're dead. It's just to appreciate that, but at the same time, don't be too afraid and just listen. I've got some great photos and videos. It's me with the Komodo dragon, and I'm very close to that Komodo dragon. You can see in the photo, but I still listening to the guide, and I was even when I'm crouching down, I was still, that's a predator. A 3-meter Komodo dragon. They eat people, Komodo dragons. So I was ready to skedaddle if needed. But even with, I think it's very important to bring back, because it's easy to mention that when it comes to like animals like elephants, crocs and sharks and lions, because people will just have this already, oh, it's a dangerous animal, I'm not going to get close to a lion or something like that. But the one I want to bring back is the giraffe. When I met Morgan the giraffe, and for me it was just a really beautiful moment. I was in Nairobi National Park on my second day, and there's a walkabout you can do in there in the national park, and I saw some bead eaters, species of bird, and I was very naughty. I went off the path to get a closer look at the bee eaters. Don't do that. Very naughty. And there was a guide there, and he saw me and he started talking to me, and we had a quick understanding. We both knew what we was talking about. And he's like, "Do you want to come and see some lions?" I was like, "Yeah, let's go." And he took me in the bush. Don't know who this guy is. And I'm crawling through the bush and pushing trees out the way. And then I'm standing there, and there's these 2 lions, a male and a female, just laying there. And I was like crouching down, like, "Oh, this is great, watching these 2 lions. Like, how are you doing?" And then and after a while, I said, "Do you want to come and meet my friend Morgan?" I was like, "All right, yeah, all right, I'll just go with you and meet Morgan." And then we're going through the bushes again. And then there's this young female giraffe, not fully grown, but much taller than me, just standing there. And early that day, I was at the giraffe center in Nairobi. And anyone watching, if you don't know, it's that place. They do great stuff. They rescue giraffes and rehabilitate giraffes and put them back in the wild. But then I'm next to this semi-wild orphan giraffe, toe to toe, and I'm looking up at her. She's looking down at me, and I started feeding her. And she could have done anything. She could have hit me with her neck. She could have kicked me. I don't know who this guy is I'm with. I just spent the last 10 minutes with some lions. So I thought, okay, I can trust this guy maybe a little bit. But I put myself in that dangerous situation. But I was very ready that she can hurt me. And it's my responsibility. Like, I didn't go up to her. I let her come to me. If you watch the video of it, I'm just standing there. And then she actually follows me. So bye-bye now. She followed us through the rest of the park. And it's a very, very special moment. But if I was to be very naughty and decided to go walking through the bush by myself and come face to face with a giraffe, I wouldn't have gone up to that giraffe. Yeah, I think just with those animals, when you do get into like those dangerous situations, it's always be aware if you are watching us or anyone else, that we've got a permission. We're with another naturalist. I think that's something what's really important to remember as well. When you do see these things on social media or on TV, wherever it is, that's a snippet of a second. We've gone through training. We studied animal behavior. I mean, when you was talking about the elephant flapping ears, straight away, I'm listening to you, and I know straight away that's going in for a mock charge. You didn't need to tell me the rest of that story. I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Other people won't know what's happening. And I've seen videos with people on safari. I think there's one in Kruger, it might have been, with a safari truck. And you can hear the guy saying there's an elephant coming, and then people talking, and they go, shh, shh. And it's still people, and you hear him swear, shut up, because it's dangerous. Listen to those people, and that's the important thing. It's people who are cause these problems with animals in the wild. It's never the animal's fault.
No, I think as well, a lot of people forget that. I've been in situations where, like, for example, we was on that same bushwalk and we was walking past this sort of this sort of lake area, and within that lake was a hippo, but we didn't realise it was a hippo until the people behind was shouting and screaming, and the guy was saying shh, the sort of thing, and then about 30 seconds later, the eyes just pop up and the nose pops up, and with a blow the snot and gunk out the nose, and you sort of realise, well, if we had stayed there a bit longer and was that bit louder, you just never know when that animal could have come out and got you. But I think as well, it's not just noise; it's also how you smell. So a lot of people put sprays on and aftershave and all this sort of stuff, and you don't realise how attractive that is to some animals. So having the natural body odor, keep it as that. Even if you do smell, I hope you don't, but even if you do smell, keep it like that. Don't put all your sprays and stuff on, because it can get the attention of animals that you don't really want the attention of.
I'll put on a spray because I want them to come and see me. But I don't recommend that, But you're right. We put on those sprays because we want to be attractive to whoever, or smell nice.
Other humans, we want to be
humans. Yeah, I do. I've been fortunate enough when I've been on safari walks or safaris or just out hiking. Yeah. But animals do tend to come out. I swear they know I'm there, and they come up because I get to see everything, and with their babies.
They know a conservationist is in the area.
Yeah, like I swear that they're on the grapevine. Like, Ryan Parker's coming along. Let's get out. So I've been fortunate enough to see. I've never been disappointed. But yeah, like I don't. Plus, it's nice. Come on, let's admit, when you go on safari and it's dusty and dirty, I love it, getting muddy and dirty and stinky. Like, don't you just love that feeling? Especially
and then sitting around the fire eating your food. Great.
Oh yeah, you feel like the dust in your beard. I love it. It's just brilliant, dude. I just love being out there, and just even like the feeling of the sweat and being stinky. You're part of it. When you said to me about when you the first time when you went out for a walk and you were out in the grassland, like we stopped off once in the Serengeti, and everyone needed to pee, and so they went behind the truck, and I made sure I was the last one. And I went in and I'd done it. And I was like, yeah, I'm marking my territory now, guys. I'm now the king of the jungle. So I saw some lions. I was like, no, I'm the boss now. But there's this real, I'm going to get eaten one day, I swear. But that's my responsibility I'm taking on. But there's this real primal, you do become like a real primal, really connected to nature.
Primal instinct. It's like I say, it's a weird feeling, but if you do ever go to Africa and you do get off the vehicles and you go for a bushwalk, on a safe bushwalk, mind you, you do get that sense of, wow, this is what people thousands of years ago felt when there was like with other dangerous animals in the area.
Yeah, I really agree with that. And there's just so much to see when you're out there. I mean, I have so many I got excited by seeing so much. I mean, my first dung beetle, first time I saw a cheetah, my first lion, Morgan the giraffe, which I said, my first elephants, first time fish eagle. Then that was a special moment. If you're in love with wildlife in Africa, the noise, watching wildlife documentaries as a kid, you'd hear the fish eagles in the background, and I saw a fish eagle, I spotted it, and I was like, I'm waiting for it. Everyone shut up. I want to hear this. And then suddenly you hear the male calling to the female, and you're like, it's like a Bon Jovi concert, it was just fantastic. All the noises of the savannah, hearing lions and hearing hippos, hearing the zebras. It's just brilliant, and you can take that experience no matter where you go in the world. I mean, if you go snorkeling and you're on the reefs, you're with sharks. There's so much to experience and feel, and it brings something out of you. And I'm not just saying this because we're animal people, because I've seen it with other people who are not animal people who really want to experience it. Wow, that. Like you see the motion coming out of them, you hear them crying on a safari bus. When I was in Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda, I was watching a leopard hunt, which is so rare to see.
Very rare.
Very rare. Yeah, leopard's very rare. And I climbed on top of the truck, and I stood on top of it watching, and my guide was on top of the truck as well, and we're watching. And another truck pulled up, and it was like a couple. And you just see the excitement. Like I can see my peripheral, like them smiling as well. And like this leopard, it's not in a zoo where this leopard's been paraded in front of you. Like you just stand there and watch it and then move on. Like it was going in and out the bushes, and like you had to anticipate where it's going to end up next. And then you see the warthog, and like you can't see the leopard crouching, but I know I'm watching that warthog. The leopard's going to pounce out at any moment. They're all special moments. And I think if you treat the animals right, and you respect the land, you respect the animals, and you pay attention, then you'll get to experience those beautiful, beautiful moments.
I think we are great advocates and ambassadors for going on safaris in Africa.
Yeah, I wish get some commission now.
We was listening to that podcast the other day. I want to go on to Africa now. Do I get some commission?
So say if you are watching or listening to this and you want a great safari, give us a call. We'll set it up for you.
We'll set it up for you. We'll take you. Don't worry.
Bring us along.
Yeah, but I think we like, as you mentioned, with wildlife documentaries. Again, I think it's a perception where you watch these magnificent, these lion hunts, leopard hunts. And you think, if I go to Africa, I'll see that. Not every single time. Like we said, it's very rare. I mean, I had to track lions for 2 weeks before I saw a full lion hunt when I was hunting Waterbuck. It takes a long time. Sometimes, yes, you might have the luck. You get there and you go on a safari and you see everything. You see the big five. You see the hunts that are going on. Fantastic if you do, but be mindful that's not always the case. And again, when it comes to responsibilities of cameramen or presenters and stuff like that, the documentary I did when I went to Africa in Mossel Bay in South Africa, I did a documentary, a wildlife filmmaking course with a company called Africa Media. and I spent a month there. And I made my own documentary called Secrets of the Savannah.
Oh, I remember watching that.
Yeah, and the thing is, I got into a lot of trouble really when I showed it at my university, because a lot of people thought I was, running towards the edge of the water to collect the cub cam that got taken away by the crocodiles and then brought back up onto the shore. A lot of people thought I was being really, really stupid, but it's the deception of camera. So in fact, I'm going to ruin it for everyone now who's going to go and watch it. But the crocodiles were actually at the opposite side of the lake when I ran down to get the cub cam and ran back up. But with the dramatic music, the shots of the camera makes it look like the crocodiles are right there. They're going to come out and get me. But unfortunately, it's not quite like that. So when my university at the time didn't feel comfortable sharing that particular one, because it gave the essence of, am I doing the wrong thing? But when I explained that it's the different camera techniques, and I had a ranger and a director behind me who, told me where to go and where to stand and what to sort of say at the time. It was a very safe position I was in. It wasn't a very dangerous thing. We was completely away from the crocodiles enough to, if they did want to sort of, go for us, we was completely away from them. And again, when you watch these documentaries, you think, are these people getting really close, or they're getting like too close? But sometimes they are. Don't get me wrong, some people will do that. But again, remember, it could be the direction of the camera, the cut twos, the dramatic music that makes it look like they're going for it. But in fact, it's completely set up in a different way.
Yeah, I get you there. And it's a great way to also to appeal to people where you are with these dangerous animals.
Mm-hmm.
I think especially, with sharks. I have such a big thing about having sharks a bad reputation. I talk about it all the time. But when you do see like tiger sharks, great whites on these documentaries, by the time those camera women are in the water, no cage, and there's nothing between them. So that's something ways to remember as well. If the sharks wanted to hurt those people, they would have. But they are trained professionals. They probably have someone else with them as well. And I think with any animal as well, there is lots of dangerous situations. There's a great series on at the moment on BBC. It's called I think it's called Big Cat 24/7.
Yeah.
Really, really great, and it shows them like actually living in the bush, filming in the bush, and you see the whole team, and they have an elephant experience. The guy, and you see the elephant come into the camp, and you see him, wait, whoa, the elephant, and he goes, I'm still shaking, and that's he'll go away and remember that amazing experience. But that's something to always take away. So if you're going on a safari, I mean, there's different safaris you can do. Once you're on the truck, you are going to have there's a danger. I mean, I was speaking. He was telling us a story, a hot air balloon pilot, this Australian fella. And he said there was a couple on a honeymoon. Very, very sad story. And he said they were in the Land Cruiser 4x4, and the guide took them too close to a male buffalo. So with buffaloes, they live in herds, right? And you have your males and your females. But the most dangerous of the buffaloes are the lone males. Because they're alone, they've got protection of the herd. So they're much more aggressive. They're more likely to be targeted by predators. So they're much more aggressive. And the buffalo overturned the truck because it got too close, took out the couple and the guide and killed them all, like stamped them to death. Now, obviously, it's not that couple's fault. It's the guide's fault. But that's how quick it can change. And
situation can change like that.
Yeah, it's really dangerous. And like I always want to say that small animals as well. It was my fault last year. I do rescues of animals, and I did a rehoming of a green iguana. Really lovely green iguana. I think he was about fully grown, and I took a pet carrier to put him in because he's fully grown. And the idea was the owner who I'm taking from, she was going to put him in there because he's more relaxed with her, knows her, for her to feel more relaxed. But I've turned up in my khaki with an open shirt, sleeves rolled up, and he's seen me straight away, and like a big puppy, he's just climbed up me, and he's not doing anything nasty. He just wanted to be, he just wanted to sit on my shoulder. But I had big scratches down my chest, on my arm, on my neck. I looked like I had to fight Freddy Krueger. But it was my fault. I should have been.
Yeah.
Even though it was never the plan for me to touch him, it was for me to step back. As soon as I got there, he's just leapt onto me, and I should have been fully prepared and dressed properly. And even when I'm with there's a few videos with me with snakes, a couple of boas, and I'm presenting the boas, talking about the tongues and stuff like that. I'm always watching what the head's doing. I'm looking my eyes in the camera because you want that. But at the same time, I can still see what's. I'm looking directly in your eyes now, Ryan, but I can still see what's happening here and what's going on there.
Exactly.
That's something I think people need to be aware of when we are handling snakes on camera. Parrots, but even parrots, they'll big beaks are used for crushing open nuts. They will rip off your nose, rip off your ears, gouge out your eyes. People can lose fingers. That's something to always be aware. I'm always constantly aware what's going on, and maybe one time I won't be fast enough to dodge it, or I'll misread it. But I've had snakes in my hands where they've kind of all right, calm down, like that. And I've had to deal with dangerous animals when I'm around children. And I'm presenting to children where I've got a snake. I'm always keeping the head in a certain place, and snakes will just naturally, especially like ball pythons or royal pythons,
wrap around,
just like that, and they are strong. I'm gonna go out on a limb, so I'm a pretty strong guy. But these snakes are much stronger than I am. It looks great on camera because when I got a snake wrapped around me, my biceps are really tense. I'm like, oh yeah, this looks great. But that just shows the sheer power of these animals. That I always say, you should, especially around a child, never have a snake around your neck.
I was just about to say, because obviously I've met a lot of let's just say amateur people who have got snakes, and they've got them around the neck like the big boas and everything, and they're showing like the thickness, the muscles, and I get they're trying to educate the sheer power and the evolutionary adaptations of these animals, but having it around your neck, like you say, you're a pretty strong person, but there could be a time where you're not as strong that day, or you're not feeling up to, or whatever. And that snake, comes around your neck, and no one else is there to sort of prize it off. You're a bit done for. So again, the key thing with this one is making sure you understand how to handle certain species. Like with rodents, there's certain way you hold rodents without being bit or without damaging them. Certain ways you pick up birds because you don't want to burst the air sacs in their wings. And like I say, not putting snakes around, but holding them arm's length away with the head this side, so people can stroke, but going with the scales and not up the scales, because if you go up the scales, it's like scratching your own skin. It's awful. It's not very nice for the snake. So again, it's again educating on how to hold, how to stroke, what sort of distance you need to be. There's so many elements to it, and I don't think people always know the essence of that.
Yeah, I really agree, and I think there's a saying like ignorance is bliss, right? And people, with snakes, people could be more wary anyway. Just like when you said with the neck, that snake might not be. Snakes will eat what they can fit in their mouth. Now, a 6-foot boa is not going to eat us, but still around your neck is going to. It still could kill you wrapped around your neck.
We could just knock it over our shoulders because our shoulders are too wide.
Yeah. You get 20-foot reticulated python then with food, but they're quite lovely animals anyway. But still, even the smaller ones, what can't actually eat us, because it's just natural for them just to wrap around something, it's still going to do that. And it's great that people might be a bit more wary with snakes, treat them with respect. They're not horrible animals, the lizards without legs. But take that same caution with other animals. Like you mentioned rodents, like meerkats I remember I was doing presenting with meerkats, and I had someone say, "Oh, I thought they were a lot bigger, and they'd be like Russian." I was like, "No, it's not. It's not the advert with the compare the meerkat.com. He's he's not going to sell you some bad car insurance. Come on."
It's that word I can never say anthropomorphism, where you characterize an animal as being funny, cute, like a meerkat with Alexander when he say simples. That's I can never say it, anthropomorphizing that animal. So people automatically think, oh, it's going to be cute, it's going to be good, it's going to be nice. No, because they can bite, they can hurt you.
Yeah,
So it's that misdeception of it, deception of it. Sorry.
Meerkats are nasty.
Mm.
I don't hate saying this for animals, but I mean these things they'll eat scorpions, they eat snakes, and there's a reason why a group of meerkats and other mongooses are called mob. Yeah, this is a reason, and they will kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the things they like to eat are, I mean, if you watch Lion King, you see Timon, he offers Simba grubs and stuff like that, right? They love digging. They've got sharp claws for digging, sharp teeth. Like I said, they'll eat scorpions, snakes, and bugs. But our fingers, you put that, because if you go to like a zoo, most zoos have like this really low fence around meerkats where you can actually get in. And it's tempting for people. You stick your hand in there, you're coming out without a finger. Like hamsters. Oh, hamster's the worst bite in the world, man. Give me a crocodile. Give me a crocodile.
Hamster bite is yeah. I had a gerbil bite on the skin in between the finger. Now that hurts. That hurts. I'll tell you now. That hurts. But what I was going to mention as well, another key point about handling animals and sort of interactions and smells and stuff like that is, I know a lot of people always try to save animals themselves, like in Britain and stuff like that. If they see a swan or they see rabbits and stuff like that, or hedgehogs in distress. I think a key point is obviously if you know how to save that animal, then by all means, if you like us, we know what to do, we can go and do it, but we still have to get in contact with the authorities that look after these animals to come and collect them and take them away and stuff like that. But I think, again, when it comes to like young animals, like birds in particular, when they're like young chicks and stuff like that, people, again, love to go and grab and pick up and look at them and take pictures and whatever. But what people don't realise as well is your scent can go on to these animals and the mother can reject them. And again, that's another major thing that a lot of people forget, that your scent has a massive impact on animals, especially like I say young. If a youngster, depending on what species it is, if their mother goes away to go and find some food and comes back and the smell's different, they don't tend to look, or they don't tend to see, they don't care, then they don't tend to care about their young, and then them young die. And is it really worth a picture or a hold of that animal from to then die later on, and the mother to sort of mourn those animals? Not really. But again, it's that understanding, it's that respect, it's that knowledge, and it's also, again, keeping that distance and knowing that you can't always just go and grab that animal.
Yeah. I mean, some animals, they won't kill their young if they smell different. I mean, rabbits especially will do it. So I think, sometimes, I mean, I think quite a few rescues end up having baby animals. I mean, I remember it was a fox cub a couple of years ago. It was a French lady asked me to come out, and I went and rescued the fox cub, and she picked it up. Now, she told me where it was. It's probably the mother left that fox cub there and has gone off to hunt or whatever like that and left it in a secure place. She's seen it and gone and picked it up. Oh, it's been abandoned. And then I had to go and take it to the wildlife hospital. But if she left it, it was probably a good chance that the mother was coming back. But when I worked in wildlife rehab when I was younger, the place was full up with fox cubs, badger cubs, baby deers, young birds. And I thought, how many of those? Because most of them were in good health when I was there. How many of them were actually needing help? And people just don't know. I mean, I can never have a go at somebody for not knowing, but then do the research. I would suggest if you come across something like that, And luckily a lot of people do. 'Cause that's how I end up doing these rescues. People call me. But if you do see something, instead of getting, jumping on it, and I'm going to go rescue, give a call to wildlife rescue, or give a call to us, and
or even, I always explain to people, Google the animal, see what you need to do with it, and it will link you to an organization, a charity, a business that looks after these animals, or like I say, people like yourself, rescuers, and then you can give them a call, text them, message them, whatever, and then they can tell you what to do at that precise moment, and also how to get them to a safe area, to get yourself to a safe area, because that's the key as well. You've always got to remember your own safety when you're trying to rescue animals as well. And then obviously what you need to do to get that animal to that person or to that organisation or that shelter. I think, like I say, don't always jump on and think, I'm going to be the action hero, I'm going to save this badger or fox or something, because you could cause more damage and you could also injure yourself as well. So it's always key to find the information, call people, and just find out exactly what you need to do before you attempt anything.
And the same if you find, I see it quite a lot, an exotic. We had a good case last year. There was I think it was last December. I was really tired. I got a call. A lady had a royal python, and it disappeared. It disappeared, and then for like 8 months, and then
8 months.
8 months it disappeared, and then in December I got a phone call saying my python. She was on the train at that time going to Paris, and she was like a house sitter, and so the house sitters come in and found a python just sitting on the floor. Obviously, the house sitter had no idea that 8 months before it was a python, but she'd done the right thing. She made a phone call saying there's a python She didn't go and try and capture it or anything like that. She says there's a python just sitting there, and I got called, and I had to drive into London, going to this lady's house. And she was like, I didn't. And the next door neighbor had to come and let me in and show me the python. And there's this beautiful little python just sitting in the middle of the floor. I went and picked him up, and I took him to a sanctuary, Phipps Farm. But that's the thing, a lot of people, I mean, I've heard of people, there's a snake and they've decided to pick up at a tail and fling it over someone else's garden, which is cruel and nasty. But that, a lot of people can't tell the difference between a venomous snake and a non-venomous snake. If you pick up a venomous snake that turns around, I mean, if you go on the Born Free website and have a look on the map of England of dangerous animals, there's a lot of venomous snakes in every single town. I mean, there's rattlesnakes, various different species of cobra, there's taipan, the furderlands, lots of dangerous animals, king cobras, gaboon vipers. One bite and that's it. Boom slang. So lots of dangerous animals out there. And if you don't know, don't go and pick up the snake.
No.
If you don't know what it is, respect snakes. Please respect snakes. And even if it's a python, like we just said, a large boa or a python, it can still do a lot of damage, or an anaconda, something like that. Just call someone and keep an eye on it. And the same with any lizard as well. I mean, you do get a lot of exotic escapes. There's a lot of exotic escapes which can do damage. If you look at the bearded lizard, they're venomous. Or various different species of monitor lizards. They've got sharp teeth and sharp claws. I mean, these are predatory lizards. So anyone understands a monitor lizard, the Komodo dragon is the largest species of monitor lizard. And then you've got various species of monitors. So you've got the Asian water monitor, which is quite popular as a pet in this country. Nile monitors are quite popular as pets in this country. I've rescued a few. They got sharp teeth, sharp claws, big thick tails for whipping, and they will do you some serious damage. So never hold back from wait for the professionals. And even if you and I turn up to this place, there's still a good chance that we're going to get hurt when we're
most definitely. There's like you say, it's a very good point. although we've studied animals for pretty much all our lives, there's still going to be times, and there has been times where we've been caught out because they've been a bit too quick for us, or we've not realised, or we're not in a safe position to sort of catch them or whatever. We have been in those situations. But what I was going to just say, which I think the viewers will find quite interesting, is with venomous snakes, their venom glands are up in the top part of the mouth. So obviously, when they bite down, it goes into the top. But with the bearded lizards and stuff like that, theirs are at the bottom. So they have to really chew to inject the venom into you. So I find that quite interesting in terms of evolution of like venom and stuff like that. That snakes have it at the roof of the mouth, and some of the lizards have it at the bottom.
That is really, because I think it's the Gila monster and the bearded Mexican bearded lizard, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, I find that but some of the venomous snakes, their venom is further back as well, isn't it? Where I think some of them is
like rear-fanged snakes and stuff.
Yeah, I think this is the hognose, which is like very, very small. Even though it's venomous, it's not on the WDA, the Dangerous Wild Animal License, to have it. You can just have it because it's so rear-fanged it can't actually hurt you. And I think we'll go through this while we're talking about it, because it comes up so much. I saw a post about it today. It was it was on a South African post on Facebook. What poisonous snakes are there in South America?
I just had to say, not poisonous, please, not poisonous.
First of all, because have you seen the new Beetlejuice movie, Beetlejuice?
I haven't. No.
Okay, so there's snakes in there. I'm not going to give away the storyline, but there's snakes, and they call them poisonous snakes. They're going for this Cleopatra thing, poisonous snakes. Like I said, you can never be angry for someone for not knowing the information. A lot of people are told poisonous snakes are not poisonous. But that's why we like doing this. And now there was a lady who works with snakes on Instagram, and she's like, "What questions do annoy you the most?" And she said, "Oh, people asking what poisonous snakes are." I said, "Why be angry with that question? Because if you take somebody who hasn't studied snakes and just been told, 'Oh, that's a poisonous snake,' on TV and movies they're called poisonous snakes. Yeah, you're going to believe it's poisonous snake."
That, yeah.
So the difference between poison and venom is poison you ingest. So like poisonous frogs, their skin's toxic, and venom is injected. So like your jellyfish, bees, wasps, anything what stings you or bites you is venom. I think even to the fact, I think you can actually drink venom, and as long as it doesn't go in your blood. I don't recommend this, by the way, but don't try it. But you can drink venom, and as long as it doesn't go into your bloodstream, you're pretty. You're going to be all right.
Yeah.
Please don't try it because you never know. You might have a tear in your throat or something like that.
Exactly. And any cut or little thing like an ulcer, if it gets in, that's it.
Yeah. And once it's in there, and no, there's no such thing as sucking out the venom. So no such things as poisonous snakes, called venomous snakes or non-venomous snakes. The same as the Komodo dragon is venomous because they're not. People say their bite's poisonous. No, their bite is venomous. Yeah, it's exactly that.
But as you say, if you're, I don't know, a small business owner and you go out to Africa for the first time, and you've got no experience with snakes and you don't know anything about it, but you want to see one because you've heard cool information about them, and someone says, "Oh, that's a poisonous snake," you're gonna believe them in terms of that, because why wouldn't you if you've got no experience on it? But for anyone who is listening, snakes are not poisonous. You are not going to eat it, and it's not going to do. Venomous is when they inject you. Okay, so we got that clear.
Same as wasps and bees.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anything that bites you. Jellyfish is venomous as well. Different species of fish, like lionfish, scorpion fish. Well, that's one what gets me is the scorpion fish. Have you seen those?
Yes.
Because you can't see them. That's the thing. Like they're just out there, and so their dorsal fin has this barb. You step on it.
That's it.
You're dead. So if you're going swimming out in the tropics, wear something nice and fit. Take some hiking boots with you, because you step on that. That is it.
Exactly.
at the same time, remember these are beautiful animals, and why I've got close to sea crates. You know, sea crates, the banded sea crates, one of the most venomous species of snake. I'm keep saying
not poisonous, yeah. Venomous.
Venomous. They're one of the most venomous species of snake out on the planet. They're like a sea snake. I saw them in Bali, and I got really close because they're very, very placid. They're one of the most placid. You know, I got very close, and I'm not going to say what I did, but they're very, 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 very close. But I got to appreciate these animals, even how dangerous they are, and other dangerous animals. But I think it's that responsibility. We've always known how far to take it, and I'll admit, me being me, I think you mentioned this last week. I like to get in people's faces and be there and touch. I like to push it further than anyone else. I'll say, but I still know, you know, I'm not like that guy I mentioned when we done the mountain gorilla trekking. He went to push further and further closer to that mountain gorilla. I stayed put. I knew, like, this is how far I can get. You know, there might be other people who would have actually I prefer to stay further back. Even like when I'm with the hyenas, when I told the hyenas story, when she said, Ryan, come back here, I knew not to go any further. I still went further than what she did, but I still know I'm not going to actually walk out in the bush in the dark by myself against Africa's most dangerous predators. I still give that respect, you know, and stayed further back. So I think one thing to take from this, you know, when people see us swimming with sharks, going close to crocs, or even in, you know, I've worked with crocs and had crocs in my arms. I'm not averse. If I get a documentary, like hi Netflix or BBC, if you want to give us a documentary and want us to jump on it, we're up for it. I'm up for jumping on
it. We can do it. We know the difference between venomous and poisonous, so let us hope, please.
And we can tell the difference between alligators and crocodiles.
Yeah,
we're on it. But remember, if you're ever watching us do that, and you whatever species we're with, we've had the training, and when we are filming, you see us on camera, we will then probably had a safety talk of what's going on. And even if it's a species we've worked with countless times, there will still be a safety talk. I think, you know, when I've done documentary with the big cats in the cat sanctuary, I was in charge of the whole thing. I still had my whole crew and explained to them how fast these cats can move, how quick and quiet they are. And while we was filming, a couple of times some of the crew did get a bit too close to the enclosures. Like, I step a bit back, those claws will reach through and get you. You know? So always remember that when we are doing this, no matter how experienced we are and how many times we've done it, we're constantly learning. One of the great things about animals and wildlife is you're constantly learning. That's the one beautiful things about it. It's always something new.
You will never ever know everything. I'm pretty sure even Sadao Attenborough himself doesn't know. I know he knows a vast amount. Don't get me wrong, but I'm sure there's still things now he still learns from researching his film crews, because the thing with animals, it's always developing. There's always new things. There's so many mysteries as well that we don't always find out. And I think that's the key as well, to keep the mystery of animals alive. We don't always want to know everything, because we still want them untold mysteries and stories that we can tell all sorts of people and get people excited about nature as well.
Yeah, and it's exciting as well. And I've had a few people before when they've seen an animal and I didn't know what it was. It was like a bird or a beetle. I think it was a beetle about a couple of months ago. I was working, it was a beetle. And he goes, "Oh, right, no, it was a beetle. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?" He said, "What is it?" I said, it's some type of beetle." You're like, "Oh, yeah, David Attenborough, you are." I was like, "Look, I can't know." Do you know how many thousands of species of beetle, like black widow spiders? People think black widow spider is just a black widow spider or the false widow. There's hundreds of species of spiders and different, usually when people think of the widow spiders, that might cover a whole different genus of spiders. Or warthogs. People don't know there's two species of warthogs. You got your common warthog and your desert warthog, and same with like crocodilians. You know, you've got your saltwater crocodiles, Nile crocodiles, West African crocodiles, the dwarf crocodiles. Then you got different species of caimans, Siamese crocodiles, the Philippines crocodiles, freshwater crocodiles. There's so many different species that when we say crocodiles, people think, oh, just crocodiles or just alligators. That it covers a vast range of different species. And it's constantly changing, you know, it's constantly changing. We're always learning. So, you know, give us a break if we don't know one thing, you know. Don't have a go at me for it. You know, the thing is, I could easily lie to somebody and just say, oh, that's that. Yeah, you know, that's that. And they're going to believe it. But I don't want to lie to people. And the great thing is, if I don't know it, I'll go and research it and I'll learn it.
Exactly. I was just about to say, if we don't know it, we have means of finding out, you know, classifying it and figuring out what species it is or what, you know, what class it's under. You know, we can find that out for you. So, but I know I've had hundreds of people send me pictures of different things and go, what's that? And I'm like, could you get well, not get close, but like, can you get a better picture of it, please? Because it's a blur. But yeah, it's nice that people are interested in stuff like that and want to know. But what would be your last sort of message to everyone, especially when it comes to close encounters and, you know, your responsibility to animals and protecting animals as well? What would you say your last thing would be to everyone?
I like the word close encounters. It reminds me of aliens, but it would be like the thing we're trying to get out there is the natural world is really beautiful. Get out there and enjoy it, but do it in a respectful way. Like you can, like the thing with zoos is, you know, it's not black and white for me. It's very grey. If you just want to go and see an animal and you want to be guaranteed to see an animal, go to the zoo. You've got to have the best chances there. But if you want to see something in the wild and really truly appreciate it, there's a huge difference of appreciating it. You know, don't complain. If you go on safari, look, it's not a guarantee you're going to see lions, leopards, elephants, giraffes. It's never guarantee. If you do, you're very lucky. Every single thing you spot is being lucky. Don't complain if you don't. Don't complain because the animal's too far away. Sometimes you'll be lucky and have, you know, elephants walk past you or lions walk past you or leopards walk past you, and sometimes you won't. You just go for as long as you can, give yourself the best chances. But when you do get those close encounters, regardless whether you're in a wildlife park or a zoo or you're out in the wild, don't put yourself in a situation. Don't try and feed the animal. Don't try and feed the animal, and don't get too close. Be respectful. Listen to your guides. Hopefully, you can have responsible guides. You know, there are going to be some irresponsible ones who, you know, if someone's telling you to do something so they can get an extra tip, not worth it, because all it takes is a second. And like I said, a meerkat can make you lose a finger. A parrot can rip off your ear. You know, I've already told a story about the baboon when a guy lost his life. The baboon bit him. Warthogs will do damage. Orangutans will do damage. There's a lot of animals. Yes, they're beautiful animals. Give them the respect. They're not nasty animals out to hurt you.
No.
Let them be. Let yourself observe. And if you do something where you can get very close, like with me and the manta rays, I'm not chasing after that manta rays trying to get close. That manta ray decided, and he avoided me. When you watch the video, the manta ray goes underneath me. I stay still. You know, I'm there. I stay still. He goes underneath me and just carries on his business. So, you know, be that respectful. If you do get experience with an animal, you know, let's say, don't sound mean, something more intelligent like cetaceans or something like that. You know, I'm going swimming with orcas this year in the wild. And if I get in the water with them, I'm not going to go up trying to grab an orca. But, you know, if I'm lucky enough when an orca does come very close to me, and then that's a beautiful moment for me to experience with that animal. So appreciate those beautiful moments. They could be very, very rare. Don't chase after animals. Don't feed it Monster Munchies and Doritos and crisps. It's going to be bad. It's bad for you. It's going to be bad for the animals.
Yeah.
You know, just you can enjoy that moment of being safe as possible. Always remember, when you are with wild animals, you are going to be in dangerous situations. Anything can happen. Like you said, with the elephants as well, that If that was a bull elephant on Musk, that could be a whole different story.
Completely.
Yeah, completely different story. Always listen. If you go on a boat safari, don't be stupid, be hand in the water. You're going to end up with no hand. There's crocs and hippos in there and stuff like that. So it's always listen to your guides. They're there to protect you. And if you are, in your hometown and there's an animal that needs help, there's a lot of rescues. That's why we're here. We're doing this. Us driving around at 12:30 at night, going to pick up a badger or a pigeon, or someone's found a snake in their house or something like that. That's why we do this. You don't have to do it. I mean, yeah, we can always use more help. If you know how to do it, well, obviously take it somewhere, but keep yourself safe, because don't put yourself in danger, or your family in danger, your friends in danger, and you can put that animal in danger. Because if you was that person who got too close to the elephant, and there's rangers there with guns, that elephant's going to get shot. And that's not the elephant's fault. That's your fault. Remember, you're in that animal's habitat. Just because we remove ourselves from nature and we live in skyscraper Lego sets up in the sky and drive cars and stuff like that, we are part of the food chain.
We're still part of the natural world.
Part of the natural world, and the animals don't understand that. They understand we're humans and we have all these different things. Stay in your, simple things like stay in the truck. You see on like social media of, especially in Kruger, whatever, these open top trucks, and then you see the lions getting close to the trucks. Those lions understand there's like this barrier with the trucks and the people, but the moment you step out the truck, you're now just you're just an ape. That's the thing.
I think that's a very key message. It is always. I know obviously people get fed up of listening to safety talks, but when it comes to stuff like that, you've really got to, be incentive to listen to, because it could be a life or death situation, and again, it's protecting those animals as well. But I think to end it all, I think it's to just say, enjoy nature as much as you can, get out and enjoy it as much as you can, be safe, protect the animals, don't overstep your bounds, understand things, research things, talk to experts. There's so many things you can do to protect yourself and the animals. But hopefully on the next episode of Two Ryans, One Planet, we should be starting to get some people to come on board, and we can interview them, find out more about their careers, find out more about their personal lives, see if they've had any close encounters and what they would do in those situations as well. But for now, thank you again for listening. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. And if anybody does want to hire us for a safari, we are available. we do have valid passports. And if there's anybody watching or listening and you work for the BBC or Netflix and you want our pretty faces on TV, as you can tell, we're very, very responsible.
We are very responsible.
We're very available. As you can see, Ryan looks great in khaki at the moment.
Exactly, yeah.
And I can send you some pictures of me in khaki and my tiny, tiny little shorts. But yeah, if anyone wants to work with us, come on, give us a role,
Yeah.
But to be honest, if anyone's listening, we're just really excited to talk about wildlife conservation animals, and we just want to make a difference. So I hope anyone's listening, you enjoyed this, and you tune into the next one. And don't take it too seriously. Just enjoy animals and get outside. And just feel free anytime to message. I think either one of us. I'm always happy to talk about animals. If you've got any questions, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, leave us some comments of anything you want us to address in the future episodes, and we'll be happy to chat about it.
We want to make this as big as possible. We want to reach as many people as possible as well. And we've already changed it already. I've got some plants involved. I've got my new T-shirt on. So we're already adapting things for people. So keep bringing them in for us.
All right.
Take care, everyone. Look after yourselves. God bless. Bye-bye.